I could see where the bullet had gone in. And as I looked down, we wear these combat boots, right? And I looked down at my shoe, and the blood was just pooling at my foot. And I mean, fast. The blood pool was just growing really fast. And I thought, oh my God, she's hit an artery. And I knew I didn't have long. I knew I was like, man, I'm gonna pass out. I need help. I need it now. And I grabbed my leg and I squeezed as hard as I can, which makes me happy that I have a really strong deadlift because I got a good grip. So I grabbed my leg and I squeezed with everything I had. And the thought was, oh my God, I don't want to die. And the very next thought was, I'm gonna cry. The very next thought was my kids. You know, and I saw my little girls, and I was like, man, I can't let them grow up without a dad. I was actually a Gold's Gym rat, right? So I had trained at Gold's Gym when I was going to become a police officer, and I had just stayed with that whole mentality. I subscribed to one of the big bodybuilding magazines. They had a couple of the workouts listed. They had Helen, I think they had Fran, and one of the hero workouts. I think it was Nate. I can't remember, but anyway, so our first workout was Helen, and I'm sure all the people at at the Globo Gym thought we were nuts because nobody else was doing that, and we were making all kinds of noise and running around acting foolish. And afterwards, we're laying there, and I'm like about to throw up, and Heather's dying. So I mean, it was for me, just going to the bodybuilding gym was just really getting boring.
Did the thought cross your mind of wanting to just be a trainer?
Absolutely, yeah. I felt like I always felt like I was supposed to do that. As soon as I found CrossFit, I loved police work. Don't get me wrong, police work's a ton of fun. Adrenaline rushes, chasing people, running, driving after stolen cars. It doesn't get any cooler than playing like that. But I knew that for my family, I wanted to do something else, and I felt like I was supposed to open the gym then. But the fact that I was so good at being a cop, I kept getting put on the back burner, and I just, it was something I felt like I was good at, so I just stayed with being a cop, and then things changed.
Yeah, we're switching it up.
There was a female had already fled the scene who had been involved in a violent altercation inside the facility that she stayed at. When I got up behind my partner with a panic in his voice like I had never heard before, he said, "John, she's getting my gun." And he was screaming it at me, but it was very panicked. And I remember I looked down, to where I was literally standing behind him, probably about the 5 o'clock position on a clock. And I looked down and I saw her hand, tugging at his gun on his belt. And I thought, wow, I'm gonna actually have to kill somebody. And I never would have thought that. It was the last thing. I would have never thought that this little altercation would be the one where I'm gonna end up having to shoot somebody. The crazy part was in my head, I watched the whole thing play out already. I drew my gun, I shot her, and saved the day, I guess you would say. But in my head, that had already happened. My body couldn't keep up with how fast my mind was playing it out, though. And as I went to draw my gun, I heard a gunshot. And the split second that I heard it, I thought, I didn't pull the trigger. That was my initial, the very first thought was, I didn't shoot anybody. Wait a minute, And then, of course, it felt like I'd gotten hit by a car at about 40 miles an hour in the leg, and I thought, holy crap, I just got shot. I never would have thought I got shot, but I was like, oh my God, I just got shot. They go, you're gonna be fine, you're gonna be okay, everything's fine, everything's okay. And I remember hearing him say that to me, and I grabbed his arm and I said, don't you fucking lie to me, dude. If I'm gonna die, you tell me I'm gonna die. And he looked at me straight in the face and he said, you're not gonna die, brother. And I said, okay, well, am I gonna lose my leg? And he said, I don't know if you're gonna lose your leg. And I said, okay, well, I need to make some phone calls then.
His recovery was remarkable. And the doctor said that because of his physical fitness, he recuperated not only quickly, but they said another person could very well have lost part of their leg because of that wound. So that was that was a testimony to his physical fitness right there.
The day after you got the pump installed in your leg, our garage is in our basement. So the day after his surgery, he's walking down the stairs with a pump on.
I'm attempting to walk.
You're attempting to walk down the stairs to go work out in the basement. He refused to stop.
Yeah, I felt like, it wasn't that I wanted to prove anybody wrong, but for me, it was in my head that, you know what, I'm stronger. I'm not gonna let this incident screw my life up. I refuse to let this person take away the things I've worked so hard for, and so I refused to quit. So yeah, the way I describe it to people is, in CrossFit you tear down your body during a workout, right? You just completely annihilate yourself, and you're left in a puddle of goo on the floor, right? Your muscles know what's going on, and they repair themselves. Right? So I'd been doing that for 3 years. My body knew what to do when trauma was introduced to it. Now it was on a different grand scale, right? But when trauma was introduced to it, it knew what to do. It knew how to fix it. Whereas, if that would have happened to somebody else on the shift that didn't work out, or that didn't CrossFit, or that didn't have any kind of physical anything, and there's a lot of that. But, if it happened to somebody like that, their body might not have known how, and it might have taken them a lot longer to recover. They told me 6 months before I could walk, and I said, no way. I was 2 months, was it right? 2 months to the day?
6 weeks you were back at work.
In 6 weeks I was back to work.
And then 2 weeks later, in 8 weeks, you were back on the road.
8 weeks I was back on the road.
With 2 surgeries in the middle of that.
Yeah, I was actually, so I told the doctor, without saying it to him, I was like, take your 6 months and shove it, dude.
So did you want to get back on the job that quickly?
I don't know that I wanted to, but I felt like I needed to. That old analogy of you fall off a horse, you get right back on it. I wanted to do that, and that probably wasn't smart. As soon as I was back on the road, I dealt with another series of issues, because it wasn't just my leg at that point. I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder after that incident, and just stuff that I was considered the tough guy in the shift for, I was now a complete sissy about. I remember going around just checking simple alarm calls where you just walk the perimeter of a house and check the doors and windows. It's not a scary call. I'd get around to the back side of the house where it was dark, and I would just break down and just freeze and couldn't move, just complete fear. Or easy calls that were just little squabbles between people. I'd end up going off and yelling and screaming and cussing at people, getting in their face, and having to have my partners pull me off of people, and just I was all out of balance and I couldn't process. So I went to a family therapist, and we talked through it, and we did some really amazing therapy. I think it's called EMDR, and don't ask me what that means because I have no idea, but EMDR, and it really worked. It kind of lets you process through some of the post-traumatic stress stuff, which was pretty cool. I laid on my couch for 6 weeks. I laid on my couch for 6 weeks, and I couldn't do anything but think. And the longer I thought about it, the more I thought, man, I need to push forward with the gym. I know I need to push forward with the gym. This is not what my family needs. I'd watch my little girl come in the room, and while my wound dressing is getting changed out, she's experiencing the trauma of seeing a giant hole in my leg, and a gaping hole in my leg, and I knew that needed to change. And even after that, I'd put the uniform on, and every day I'd put the uniform on. Eden would ask me. She would say, "Sorry about the mic." She would say, "Dad, are you going to get shot again today?" Like, that was just about every day when she'd see the uniform. "Dad, are you going to get shot today? Hey, Dad, are you going to die today?" She'd ask me those questions, and I'm thinking, man, I got a 2.5-year-old, 3-year-old that is, that shouldn't be dealing with that. It's not something that kids should be dealing with. And the one that broke my back finally and said, okay, the notice is going in and we're going to make this happen was, she came to me and said, Dad, I had a dream about you. I dreamed you shot me. And it just killed me. I think I went to work that day just crying my eyes out. And I just remember going, that's it, I'm done. Yeah. And I think that next weekend, in fact, we started driving around looking for actively really pushing for trying to find a spot to do it. 3, 2, 1, go! I guess our official opening day was like March 14th, but I don't think we have any of the first person walk in the door until like April. So we didn't know what to do. We're sitting here twiddling our thumbs like, all right, do we just sit here? What do we do?
Are we doing something wrong? Do we need to be out like dancing
but
in the streets?
But everything I read was like, don't market. Don't waste your money on marketing. Your people are going to be your market. And I was like, well, don't you have to get people there first? So, but it's true, man. As soon as people come in the door, man, the results speak for themselves.
And it grows like wildfire. Friends inviting friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just results.
Yes.
The results they see, 3 months, the people have been doing it for 2-3 months and they have these amazing results and they're like, holy cow, what are y'all doing? And then those people come check it out. They do it once, same thing happens. So it's pretty exponential in the growth, which has been really awesome because it takes some of the stress out of the, oh my God, are we going to make it? How are we going to survive?
I guess, can we say this? Like, we're averaging about 1 new member a week.
1 or 2 a week, yeah.
1 or 2 a week. And we feel like that's good growth for us. We're like, that's manageable for the two of us to focus attention on people, but get where we want to go. Because I think that's the right speed of growth. It's not slow, but it's not too fast.
Yeah, and it's just the
two of us. So we can really grow our business, I think, in a healthy way with a strong foundation.
He's in his element. One thing about John, he's a good motivator. He's got a great sense of humor, and he's a competitor. He wants to win. So he makes for a good personal trainer, I think.
He stays in your face and keeps you motivated. Every morning you come in, he's always got a smile on his face. He's ready to go, punish you a little bit, smile afterwards, and then work on technique. He's great. It's been really fun to work with.
John's awesome because this isn't just a job or a business for him. This is life. He reads about it, he lives it, he knows more about it than anyone else in here, which is what you need from a coach. And he tries to deliver that to his students. So he's constantly working on form, constantly telling us we can do better, constantly encouraging us to do better. And the other thing that I like about him is the fact that this is a guy that was shot a year ago. And doctors told him that he's always going to be somewhat disabled. The same guy that did this workout, in 12 or 13 minutes today. So you tell me if that's disabled. So when you see someone like that, it's hard in your mind to say, I can't do this, when someone else has been put in a lot worse position than he's doing it. So I always think about that. It's like, there's no way I can give up or not do it. He's doing it. So that to me is, whenever you have a strong motivation from someone else, I think that's always a great coach because he kind of leads by example.
Not a bit, dude. No, it's craziness. Not to mention it, like the lightest body weight I've been in probably 15 years. So it's nuts to me.
What could you do before the injury?
Man, the heaviest I did, and I had no motor though. I wouldn't be able to run a mile. But the heaviest I ever did was 425, and so I'm way beyond 420. I mean, that was 455, and that felt good. So we'll see what happens.